Okay, well, I'm on my way home. You can come over.
On my way.
You have condoms?
Always.
You see this, folks? This is why I did that video yesterday about Danny is about to do something stupid again. This woman leaves Sabrina's apartment, calls Quincy, sends her address, and he comes over, which leads to probably the third scene since Q has been introduced, where we have this just this long, dragged out 5 or so minute scene of him getting undressed. And I ain't gonna lie, I never talk about this kind of stuff because I don't like to talk about it, because people are like, somebody must like, Quincy shirtless and whatnot. But even I had to send tweet out last night. I'm like, okay, somebody must like, or I'll probably just put this in a post that I made for my channel's community tab or the Facebook group about Sistas. And I said, somebody at Tyler Perry Studios must really like, Quincy's actor not clothed, because this is like the third time we've had this unnecessarily slow scene where he's taking off his clothes, trying to seduce Maurice. But in this situation, it's Danny. And I'm like, who asked for this? Who asked for this? And then from there, I'm like, is it that bad trying to fill up a 42-minute runtime that we have to have these long, drawn-out scenes? Which leads to, Danny saying, no, I don't, no, take this pillow. You're not getting your dirty, cringy self in my bed when you're wearing your work clothes. But then she asks if he has a condom, and then, they're going to end up doing the nasty, which leads to Sabrina sniffing the sheets, which I have so many, I don't even want to know why she's going to be doing that in the next episode. But I think it's a situation where I'm just asking myself the same question over and over again. Why? Why is Preston looking to marry Danny? What about Danny screams wife material? I know he said something along the lines of, Danny, I've been out there. I've seen what's out there, and I don't want to know. I want to marry you. Preston must have had some bad experiences with women, or just dealt with the wrong ones, because to think that Danny is wife material is beyond me. And I'm not trying to talk bad about Danny, because she doesn't want to get married. She's honest about not knowing what she wants, and I'm not mad at her for that. But when she pulls stupid crap like this, and I'm not saying I want her to get into another Jonah situation, but, Q, he does drugs. Who knows how, irrational and angry and potentially violent he gets when he's high. So if, let's say, they get high and then something happens to Danny, like with Jonah, let's say he gets rough with her, I'm not going to feel sorry for her, because it's a situation like with the Jonah thing. When I saw Mignon post about it online, about how, this is what happens when some women don't want to come forward, because when they do come forward about domestic violence, they get shamed, like, oh, why did you bring this man to your home, and this, that, and the third. You can't keep using blanket statements like that to defend the victim. Well, to protect yourself as a victim. You did something incredibly stupid by bringing this guy into your home. And Tyler just writing it where, oh, well, Danny is always high and drunk, so she's doing stupid stuff. Play stupid games, you'll win stupid prizes. And based on the promo, it doesn't look like Q's going to do anything to Danny, based on the fact that it's the next morning and, Danny looks completely fine while Sabrina's there. I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, what exactly is Danny doing? There are those who say, I know this one woman on Twitter came at me last night. 'Cause I said last night in the tweet, I said, this stupid shit right here is why I have no remorse for Danny when she brings strays home. And somebody's like, hey, you need to pull that back a bit, because, victims of domestic violence or sexual abuse or assault, they have hard times dealing with the trauma and whatnot. Shut up. Shut up. That has nothing to do with this situation. Due to the fact that even prior to the Jonah situation, Danni has done this shit before. Where she's upset with Preston or whatever, and she brings somebody home. First it was the bartender from the Pride Bar. Then she called over El Fuego. Then Jonah. Her and Logan, I don't think they've ever had sex. I think they went on that one date. That was the double date with Sabrina, and then Logan just left after a few minutes. So I don't really count him. But then you had Jonah, and then you have Q. Stop using these blanket statements. What you're doing is you're utilizing domestic violence victims and whatnot, and you're using that as a defense, as a shield, to prevent people from dissecting the scenario. Using statements about assault and abuse and not victim shaming, that erases all ability to look at Danni's fault in the situation. This is stupid, and there's really no other way to put it. So we have Danni with Q over at the apartment, and one has to wonder if he's going to try to come over, every day. Now remember, typically when Danni has these one night flings and whatnot, she's pretty much not interested in the guy again, unless she wants to call them up in the near future, because yet again, she finds herself in her feelings over Preston. Jeffrey used to do this on the haves and the have-nots. If you remember, like Justin, Landon, Madison, he would use them mainly to make his mother uncomfortable about his homosexuality, but then he would allow them to chase after him. But then once they finally had sex or whatever, he acted completely uninterested. And more often than not, the only times Jeffrey had sex with these guys was because he was fed up with his mom or depressed about something else. But yet again, once he and that person had sex, he acts uninterested when they try to get comfortable with him again. So knowing that Q doesn't really have a place to stay right now, and now he knows where Danni lives, and we know he knows how to break into places, there's going to be a day when she gets off of work or something, or comes back home from a night with the girls, and Q's going to be laid out on the couch or in her bed naked. She did this. She did this. Now, I know somebody during the live stream was telling me about how, well, Jeremy, Danni, she's dealt with a lot in the past and whatnot. No, Tyler made a mistake here. When Andy and Danni were talking in her office over the whole Jonah situation, when they were at Andy's office at the law firm, Andy brought up something interesting about, Danni running away from stuff as opposed to facing her fears head on. It feels implied that there was some sort of abusive relationship she dealt with in the past, but we never got confirmation of that. If we had more intel about Danni's past when it comes to that, then I could be like, okay, now I can really see why she's acting the way she's acting. We only have slight, nods to it. We have slight things that might imply Danni having to deal with an abusive man in the past, but we don't know that. All we see is a Danni who has bad habits of running back to, other men because Preston has her feeling some type of way, and getting high and drunk. Basically relying on substances to quell her feelings or bury her feelings. But no, I don't feel bad for Danni if anything happens, because she did this to her damn self. It's stupid. I mean, she's on the couch going, you got an ankle monitor on. I can't believe I'm doing this. What is wrong with me? You a hoe, and you know it. Look, I don't mean to trash on the character, but she's definitely showing off trash behavior. That's all I gotta say. Like and subscribe. Follow me on social media. I'll talk to you in the next one.